You know, I was hoping tonight. You know, we just like it's our first race back in 2 weeks. Let's just start off easy. Let's start off calm. But nope. Austin Dillon decided to say, you know what? I feel like, personally, I feel like people need to die tonight. Like, Joe Logano and Denny Hamlin, y'all should die. Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Jett. Welcome back to episode of NASCAR Racing Victory Stop. It's like 1,000 degrees in here, so I am sweating my balls off. And yes, in case you're wondering, this is a rant video. Let's go. All right. So let's pick up the pace near the end of the race. That's where we're going to start off. Actually, let's just give a quick overview. So 76 laps ago, Austin Dillon, he's now one of the drivers in contention for winning the race. Gets past Joe Logano for second place. And then after the final round of green flag pit stops, the scene is set between Dillon and Hamlin. Dillon had the fastest car. No one ever thought, though, that, oh, wow, could Austin Dillon actually win this race? But he does. He passes Denny Hamlin and drives away up until 2 laps ago, when right in front of Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse, doing what he does best, and that is wreck, just takes out Ryan Preece in turns 1 and 2. Both of them go up to the outside wall, bring out the caution, setting us into NASCAR overtime. In overtime, Joe Logano got a great launch on the restart on the outside lane, takes the lead, but we knew Austin Dillon was going to put the bumper. We knew that was going to happen. But how he did it was, in my eyes, pathetic. On the final lap, entering the final corner, Austin Dillon, 3-4 car lengths back, just absolutely hauls in the mail, dumps Joe Logano. Here comes Denny Hamlin to the inside, and Austin Dillon decides, you know what, bam, you're going to go into the wall. Takes out 2 drivers in one sitting to win the race for his 4th career Cup Series win, breaking a long winless drought dating back to Daytona in August of 2022. This was, his first top 5 or first top 10 finish since the Bristol Dirt Race last year. That gives you an idea. This man came into this race 32nd. This man came into this race 32nd in points. There are only 36 full-time drivers. Eric Jones missed multiple races and is still sitting ahead of Austin. This man had an average finish of 25th, for God's sakes. This guy was horrible. But because of the beauty of the NASCAR playoffs, Austin Dillon goes from 32nd in the point standings to now, 13th, 14th in the playoff grid. He is in the playoffs. I mean, this is the playoff grid. Austin Dillon, yes, is colored in green. He is in the playoffs. Now Marchick Jr. plus 78 because he had an engine failure. He finished dead last, so he's now just 78 points above the cut line. Ty Gibbs plus 19. Bubba Wallace with his 4th place run. He is now in the playoffs, just plus 3 ahead of Chris Buescher now. Ross Chastain also 3 points below the cut line. Chase Briscoe minus 103. And Kyle Busch now in 20th minus 122. And that alone annoyed me, but his interview afterwards did not help it. I mean, he says, I did what I had to do. And then he thanks the good Lord above. He's like, I just want to thank the good Lord above for a great race. Great, for what? For trying to commit murder on 2 people? I just want to thank my boy Jesus. I want to thank the good Lord above, for allowing me to use my car to try and commit murder on Logano and Hamlin. Do you know how bad you have to be or how much you messed up for me to agree with Logano? Because he said it was a chicken shit move. He said all that. Yeah, and I agree. Do you know how bad it is? I have to agree with Logano, and I don't like him, but I agree with him. For anyone that brings up, that says, oh, Logano would have done the same thing, and I would have been pissed. I don't care who did it. I would have been pissed regardless. Okay. Now I got that out of the way. Let's also talk about what was said on the team radio, because there are some people that were saying, oh, it wasn't intentional for him to right hook Denny Hamlin. I disagree. I think it was intentional because of what was said on the radio. This was the team radio from the 3 car.
Coming down, run him down, back in, come on, back here!
Not only that, but this old pop boy then has the gall to sit there on presser in front of people and say that was put in on the internet. What do you think? This was AI, bro? He is saying, wreck him, wreck him, wreck him, wreck him. I'm sorry, but if we're setting a precedent, the precedent has been set. It was set with Bubba 3 or 2 years ago in Vegas. It was set again with Elliott at Charlotte last year. If the precedent set that if you right hook a driver, you should be suspended. I know it wasn't as blatantly as the previous 2 examples I just mentioned, but Dillon did right hook him. He did right hook Hamlin. He did intentionally wreck Logano. On the team radio, the guy is literally saying, wreck him, wreck him, wreck him. I mean, I don't know how more clear does that have to be. I mean, even a first grader can understand that. Even I can understand it. Even my mom can understand that. So yeah, if we're saying all this stuff, doing all this stuff, and we're bringing the good Lord's name in it, please just stop. I know one person that's going to watch this is probably not going to like me saying this, but please just stop. There's just some things you don't need to involve God in. Like, there's just some things where you know, like he could just take a step back and be like, you know what, you do your own thing. You know, you just take a step back. I know one person's probably not going to like me saying that, but just some things it's like, hey, yo, don't think you should include my name in this one. Just saying. Because again, try to kill 2 people. But it's not partly his fault. It's NASCAR. They created this with this whole playoff format and winning you're in. When you have a desperate, again, sometimes you have to save drivers from themselves. You cannot allow or create a format that has things like this. When you create a format that allows for a situation like this, for desperate drivers to do desperate things, this can happen. And here's the thing, this has happened in the past. I'm not saying this is new. Many people are going to bring up Dale Earnhardt. He was known for this. Many people are going to bring up Bristol 1999. I get that. Here's the thing. I don't care if it's 1999, 2024, or 1942. It's still jacked up. No matter who's in the car, who's driving, where it is, what setting, that is BS. No matter how you slice it, that's ridiculous. And the fact that he's rewarded now for being in the playoffs, regardless of the fact that we all know that Austin Dillon, he's not going to be out of the round of 16. He is, I'm pretty sure after race 1, he's done for because let's be honest, he sucks. I'm sorry. Austin sucks. He sucks. I'm sorry. When you're 32nd out of 36 full-time entries, you kind of suck. But again, I get it. The situation he's in. I hate the fact that he says, I did what I had to do. It's like, okay, fine. I want to get it, but at the same time, you didn't have to do that. Like, all right. But still, the point remains the same that NASCAR put these drivers in a box where they are forced to make decisions like this. Now, could the same thing have happened if this was the Winston Cup era? Maybe. Possibly. But nowadays, we're seeing this be more relevant. We're seeing drivers just do stupid shit like this, where they just wreck drivers left, right, and center because they know winning you're in. It's like they see the checker flag and they smell blood in the water, but blood in a way where they just act like a shark that's on steroids after sniffing cocaine, all right? Rather than, oh, they smell blood in the water, they're going to do whatever it takes to win, but not in a way that makes them look stupid. Regardless of the fact that now Dillon, he's got 2 massive targets on his back. This, I think, is the only time you're ever going to see Logano and Hamlin be on the same team, which I never thought I would say those words, but I mean, it's evident. He ain't making it out of round of 16, whether based on his own performance or Hamlin and Logano are going to make sure that he doesn't advance, or he has no point of advancing. But it's a combination of many things, of the desperation of Austin Dillon, the fact that he hasn't won in 2 years. Compile that with the fact that the playoff format creates these stupid scenarios where drivers just turn their brains off and throw it. Again, I look back at the Truck Series Championship last year with winning you're in. We can't, racing is not the place for it. And this is why I can never, ever be supportive of the playoffs. If you like the playoffs, fine. But there needs to be something that's done with this. Something needs to change because look at the perception. Look at the perception it gives to the audience that are not involved in NASCAR a lot. What if you go up to a random fan that is probably new to NASCAR and you say, yeah, a guy that doesn't have a single top 10 finish, I don't know if he had a top 10 finish, but a guy that is 32nd in points, a 25th average finish, can now run for a championship. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. So again, I get the situation that Dillon is under. Is he stupid? Yes, he is for doing something like this. But I get it. I get it. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, I'm going to hate both of them. I'm going to hate the game and I'm going to hate the player. As for the race itself, it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed the different tire compound strategies with the soft and the regular tires. I do feel like that the soft tires didn't wear as much as I would have hoped, but it does have a major effect. I mean, we saw Daniel Suarez use this to perfection. He started in a 21st position, but in stage 2 elected to go to the soft tire option, and he drove his way up towards the field, gained like 15 some odd spots, took the lead away, and opened up to a 3, 4, 5 gap and won stage 2. He went from having no shot at the top 5 to now finishing in the top 5 or finishing in the top 10. So yeah, I thought the race was actually pretty good. For Richmond standards as of late, I thought it was really good, and I really like where NASCAR and Goodyear are going with these different tire compounds, and hopefully they can build off of that so that we can have it across different racetracks and not just selective tracks. So I do like where they're going with this. I think this is a great starting block for something better to happen down the line. It's an experiment, and I think the experiment was a success, but there are some things that we can do to improve on that, and that is, like I said, the fall off of the soft tires, because I feel like they didn't fall off as much as I would have expected it to. Christopher Bell had a fast car, and then he had a speeding penalty, which really took him out of contention to win the race. Let's take a look at the results here, just so we can skim over this. So yeah, Dillon wins. Hamlin, even though he crashed, is still credited with second place because that's when the caution came out. 2011 drivers, Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, 3rd and 4th. Ross staying around to the top 5. Christopher Bell, even though with that speeding penalty, rebounds to 6th, took advantage of those soft tire options. Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, great run for him. Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez in 10th. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, who had a bad pit stop, put him a lap down, took advantage of the option tires, but didn't really work to his avail because he still got put a lap down by Daniel Suarez, but still rebound, managed to get a 12th place finish. Byron in 13th, Barry 14th, and Malcolm McDowell the top 15th, then Keselowski, Gillen, Buescher, Logano goes from leading the race to 19th place, and Noah Gragson rounds at the top 20. And then some of the other notables like Ty Gibbs in 22nd, other drivers like Alex Bowman 28th, and then you see at the bottom of the field, Martin Truex Jr. with that engine failure finishes in dead last. But yeah, that Silver Spoon kid, God, man, like I noticed all of his wins. His first win, Coke 600 fuel mileage. His second win wrecked Eric Almirola. The third one was Texas. I think he took the lead with 10 laps to go with some type of fuel strategy move. I don't remember exactly what it was, if he stayed out. And this one, I mean, I can't imagine a more Mickey Mouse career in the Cup Series than Austin Dillon. I'm just saying, I can't imagine it. Eli Productions was right. That was a banger video that he put out about Austin Dillon. But here's the thing that I'm struggling is, where is the line? Because I'm going back to that video, that clip that I showed with Austin Dillon's team telling him, wreck him, wreck him, wreck him. Where's the line? Because I remember there are certain moments where where NASCAR penalized drivers for things like this. I think there was an incident in the Xfinity Series a couple years ago with Riley Herbst and Justin Haley, and I think NASCAR penalized Haley for a couple laps. There have been instances where NASCAR has suspended, fined, point deduction, probation, have done something for lesser instances, not including Bubba and Chase, Charlotte and Vegas, but for lesser instances, they have penalized drivers. But if they're not going to do anything for Austin Dillon, where is the line? Where is the line in between entertainment and integrity? I mean, because I remember back then, I remember watching some video clips back then where NASCAR was extremely strict on how you raced. And if you race dirty, they would definitely penalize you. But nowadays, it feels like, we're going to let our drivers do whatever the hell they want to do. If they want to wreck each other, let them wreck each other. It feels like nowadays, it's a free-for-all. And that NASCAR officiating is almost non-existent. And anytime NASCAR officiating does exist, it's always ridiculous and consistently inconsistent. So I don't know. I'm struggling with this sport because of how it is represented. Because, I mean, you still look on social media right now, I mean, people are looking at this as a joke, and rightfully so. For a driver to do what he did, and he gets credited with the win, not only does he get credited with the win, but now he has a shot at the championship. Again, if you're explaining this to someone that doesn't watch NASCAR, that is not, a NASCAR fan, how do you expect them to react? They're not going to be like, oh, let's go, I love this sport. They're going to be like, what the hell is this? This is like the fuck. This, like we're praising this. Something ain't right. Oh man, it's water by the way, but my throat's going. Pause. I need to hydrate it, but. Oh man, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how NASCAR handles this. But to be honest, I don't think they are gonna do anything about it. I just don't see that happening. But yeah, a race that, in my eyes, it was one of the best Richmond races in a while. I will say that, even though the only cautions were the stage cautions and the caution with Ricky Stenhouse, it was a lot better. There are much more comers and goers, better passing. It was better than in recent Richmond races. But that finish, that's really all I can say is, that finish just, oh, man. Yeah, hey, karma's a bitch. That's all I can say. Karma's a bitch. And what goes around comes around. I mean, look at Kenseth and Logano. Simple as that. The problem is that it is Austin Dillon. So, more than likely, next week is Michigan, I believe. More than likely, he's just going to go back to being pure ass. Like, I guarantee you, Austin Dillon, next weekend, will go back to running in the top 30 or top 20 around that area. I can't believe he's in the playoffs with that move. Yes, I am being over dramatic for comedic effect, but at the same time, like, I can't believe this. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this race? Let me know. Comment section down below. Till next time, my name is Jett. Bye.